It's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're trapped inside a loop you didn't mean to start. Your eyes are burning, your head is heavy, and you have a mountain of critical work waiting for you tomorrow. Every rational part of your mind is screaming at you to put the phone down and go to sleep. But you don't. You keep scrolling. If you ask the internet why you do this, the answers are always identical. You will be told that you lack discipline, that your dopamine receptors are fried, or that you need a better ad blocker. But you don't need another productivity hack. You're not scrolling because you're lazy. You're scrolling because you're terrified. Decades ago, the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung exposed this exact midnight ritual with a single uncomfortable truth. He wrote, neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. Your worst habits are not failure of willpower. They are defensive shield. Your subconscious mind is intentionally choosing the slow, predictable, comfortable decay of a bad habit because it is running away from the sharp, meaningful pain of actually changing your life. You're hiding in plain sight. Think about what Jung meant by legitimate suffering. He was talking about the natural friction of being alive. To build a business, to fix a failing relationship, or to sit down and finally confront your deepest financial flaws. This requires friction. It demands that you sit face to face with anxiety, risk public failure, and endure the agonizing boredom of starting from zero. That is legitimate suffering. It is the price of admission for a life that actually matters. But the subconscious mind is hardwired to seek safety. When the weight of what you would be doing becomes too heavy, your brain makes a brilliant, desperate, and deeply manipulative trade. It creates a substitute. Jung watched people destroy their own potential and remarked, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own souls. Look at how literal that has become. We will willingly sit in a dark room staring at a piece of glowing plastic for 6 hours, consuming the manufactured lives of strangers we don't even respect, while our own goals quietly rot in the corner. Objectively, it's absurd, but psychologically, it's a perfect tactical victory. Your brain actively prefers the familiar guilt of wasting an entire day over the terrifying uncertainty of trying your best and finding out you are not good enough. Guilt is safe, you control it. It protects you from the wild, unpredictable threat of real effort. This brings us to the deepest layer of self sabotage. Jung discovered that the root of our bad habits is a profound fear of self awareness. He wrote, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. It is easy to construct a fake identity for the world. The polite masks and professional profiles we use to convince everyone that we have our lives under control. But underneath that mask lies the shadow, the basement of your psyche, where you lock away your deepest insecurities, your raw anger, and your unfulfilled potential. When you drown your mind in destruction, you are not just escaping your daily tasks, you're actively keeping that basement door locked. You know that if you actually put the phone in another room and sat in a silent space for just 30 minutes, the noise would fade and the real questions would find you. And in that silence, you would be forced to ask, Am I completely wasting the only life I have? Am I staying in this safe, boring routine because I am a coward? Your bad habits are a masterpiece of self preservation that allows you to say, I didn't fail because I wasn't talented. I just didn't try. It is the ultimate shield for a fragile ego. The tragedy of this loop is that the shield eventually becomes your prison. You drift through years of your life watching your potential slip away, wondering why you can never get out of your own way. Jung captured the horror of this passive surrender in his most famous warning. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. You're not broken, you just need to change what you're willing to suffer for. The next time you feel that magnetic pull to escape into a bad habit, the moment you reach for your phone to avoid a difficult task, pause. Recognize it for what it truly is, a cheap, cowardly substitute for real life. Identify the exact fear you're running away from. Name it and then intentionally invite the legitimate suffering of focus, boredom, and uncertainty back into the room. Lean into the discomfort of the work. The pain of discipline lasts for a few hours, but the quiet, suffocating misery of a wasted life lasts forever. Stop choosing the safe decay. Choose the friction that actually sets you free.